Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie Chan, functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner and licensed massage therapist. We're going to do another how to do a good massage, but today we're going to focus on the neck. I really like doing neck work and also receiving a neck massage, but I feel like whenever I go get a massage from a therapist, my neck is either like kinked way over to the left, and I just don't like the way that feels. And I've always been complimented on the way that I do neck work. So I'm going to show you a little bit how I massage the neck and really work on this muscle here, your SCM muscle that gets really tight on everyone and down into the traps area. So let's get started here. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit of oil, just one pump in our hands. And just like we did the back, we're just going to warm up the tissue before we start doing more focused and deep work. So I just like to go down the shoulders, come back up and around the back of the neck here. And I always make sure that both of my hands are doing the same motion, left to right here. So down, around, kind of pressing my fingertips in, but I'm not using a ton of force. I'm just kind of feeling the tissue here. And I'm letting the tissue kind of move my fingers along. So it's not about forcing your way through. And I like to come up behind the occiput here, which is the very base of the skull. Not digging my fingertips in, I'm just kind of resting my fingertips there. Just do a couple sweeping motions like this. Sometimes I like to use my knuckles, so I'll go in like this, but also very gentle. I'm not digging in, I'm using some pressure, and I might feel a little kink like I do on the right side of his neck, and just stop and kind of let that dissolve. And come through again. I really feel the tightness on the right side, so I might just kind of stop and just sit with that tightness instead of just trying to force my way through that. And then the tissue moves me along this way. A lot of people think that a good massage is constantly moving, but really the more that we can sit with the tissue and the less we're physically moving, the deeper that you can get and the more result that you will get. Because really we're not doing the work, the client is doing the work here. And I'm just feeling a nice release in his occiput here. Over time, I've worked less on muscle and more on the fascia of the body. So now that I don't do massage anymore, I'm not really working on muscle. I only do myofascial and CranioSacral, which is more of like a fascia type of work. I don't like to use a lot of oil when I'm working because things get too slippery, and I do not like a Swedish massage. I like to have a little bit of drag. In a true myofascial massage, you will not be using any type of oil at all. You will not want drag. As well as craniosacral work. So I'm just kind of pressing my fingers in, working a little bit more on the top of his shoulders here, his traps. And I am using some pressure, but I'm only meeting the tension up into the point where I feel like I can't push through it. So if that makes sense. The right side is moving well, but the left side is not. So he's really like stuck right here. So I'm just gonna hold and just kind of wait for it to soften. Again, I'm not pushing my way through, I'm just holding. And kind of come up the sides of the neck here. Here I'm more lateral, so on either side instead of on the back of the head with the occiput. Another technique I like to use is again using a soft fist and just coming down the shoulder. So kind of like this V area here, being careful not to massage on the collarbone because that will hurt. So really focusing more like maybe my knuckle here. And then as I get into more of that meaty tissue, I can use all of my fist and kind of coming straight down into the tissue. And just pausing here. I like to do one side at a time because it can be a little much. And I'll just bring my knuckles in through here. I'm not a big fan of using thumbs because I don't want to get arthritis. So again, I'll come down. Really just sinking in. And then you could check in with them. Is this pressure okay? They'll let you know. All right, and then we'll just do the same thing on the other side. You might find the one side is worse than the other. That's pretty common. Or one side might, release a little bit better and not need as much work as the other side. So what I like to do is I come down and then I like to come back up this way. Just different ways to kind of strip that muscle in there, because there's lots of muscles that are layered on top of each other here. And then I'll take it on both sides, across this way again, up this way. And then you can come up a little bit more. You want to be gentle here. You're going to go deep, not forcing your way in here, just up the side. You can also gently grab that SEM here. That's what gets tight on everyone. Holding our heads up all day long. And you'll feel that kind of like release and give, and then you can go up a little further. Just hold until you feel the tissue move and it's sliding your finger off. And you can do the other side. You won't want to do both at the same time because it'll feel like you're being choked. So left side over here is definitely a lot tighter. So I spent a little bit more time, or I would spend a little bit more time on that. As for coming up the back of the neck, you can just use your fingertips here, coming up the back. That feels nice. And really, I just like to, my fingers will flow wherever I feel the tension lines. So you just really learn to trust where your fingers are guiding you. I feel like massage is more about intuition than it is about technique. I just feel like a ball of tension here, so I'm just gonna sit with it. And you'll feel it kind of dissolve, kind of like butter underneath your fingertips. And we'll do that to the other side. Yeah, I'm not feeling as much over here, so I won't spend as much time over here. I don't really need to sit in a certain area. So in that instance, I would spend a lot more time on this side. Here I'm feeling it a little bit more back behind the neck, so I'll spend more time in that area. And then I like to do a little bit of stretch here, just gentle traction. We're not trying to pull their head off. We're using like 20% of our strength here. And you can just curl your fingers under and use the occiput as a handle, gently pulling back. And you'll feel the tissue right underneath that occiput, just really softening so that your fingers can go a little bit deeper there. Some nice softening here. You can also put some fingertips up here on the front of the neck. Again, we're not trying to strangle them. We're just kind of resting our fingers there and using about 15% of our strength. Just trying to get into those scalenes there, get really tight, and just sinking our fingers in. And then the tissue is gonna allow us to move our fingers down along the base of that neck. And then I like to tie in some more knuckles here. Coming up along the side. Feeling tension all along the jaw here. So I would do some cranial work on that. But that's basically, in a nutshell, what I do for basic neck work, and it's really helped a lot of my clients release some really deep tension in their neck. So I hope you enjoyed that section, and I will see you for the next one.